What's going on? It's Bruno Gama here, founder of the Dads on Fire project. We are back with another episode, guys. I'm excited to be here because today we have a special guest. Actually, it's one of the first time that I have somebody like my guest, which I'm not going to tell yet. But anyway, I'm still here in Brazil right now, and I just took a little break time from the things that I was doing on my computer. I went outside. It's beautiful. Actually, it's very sunny. And there is a little wind, which makes a little cold here. It's winter time in Brazil, which is different from the North Hemisphere right now. Like when I talk to people about Brazil, they think it's always summer, first of all. And secondly, they think that when it's July or August is the summertime, but actually it's not. That's when it's the winter time and gets a little cold, especially if you go towards the south where I'm from. Right now I'm in São Paulo. São Paulo is not that cold, but it can get chilly. I was just outside and this is something I actually recorded a little video about this, that we tend to forget doing, which is spending a little time just by ourselves, without any distractions, without social media, without podcasts, without all of these things that we always surrounded by. So I just went there, got some sun exposure. I had my notepad with me, just took some notes on things that I was planning and things like that. So extremely important. This is my little tip for you today here, to take 5 minutes off and just disconnect it from the whole world, from the family, from the kids, from the wife, from your job, from all of the things that we always have going on. So we're good to go. Michael is here with us today, and so let's bring him on. Michael, are you here, brother? Can you hear us?
I am here. Thank you so much, Bruno, for having me on. Appreciate it.
Yes, thank you, man. Thank you for being here. Super excited to talk fitness and health with you. So, Michael, before really we go deep into the subject that we both love, let's just, who are you? Who is Michael? What you up to? Just give us a little, like a short introduction here for people who don't know you.
Yeah, for sure. So I am Michael Ashford. I run the website fitdadfitness.com, have for the last almost 3 years now, and also host the Fit Dad Fitness podcast. But aside from that, obviously with the whole Fit Dad thing, I am a father of 2 amazing, incredible children. My wife and I just celebrated our 11th anniversary. Let's see what else. I am a marketing director full-time at a software company. So that's the day job, and the fitness stuff is kind of the side hustle.
Right.
And started my fitness journey back in 2012. So that's kind of it in a nutshell for sure.
Yeah. I want to go deep into the 2012 your story, because your journey, and this is actually my first interview that I'm interviewing like a specific guy who also works specifically with dads. I have done several other interviews, but not with a guy who is just into this specific niche the way I am. So it's going to be cool to see different perspectives, to see, how we can really help each other, because I truly believe that first of all, there is space for everybody. And second of all, we need more people like Michael to help spread the words of having strong dads for the family, like healthy and vibrant, right? So let's go back to your journey here, man. You said 2012, that's the year when things start to change for you. And you have, if I'm not mistaken, a little different from most of the dads who are listening right now, a story, because you were like actually the skinny guy. You didn't have the dad bod, let's put it this way, right? Yeah. So can you share a little bit about the story, like in a nutshell? How did you decide to change your life that day in 2012?
For sure, and you're absolutely right. All my life I'd been the skinny guy. I'd been super lean, super thin. I was a long distance runner in high school, and I continued that after high school. And, I'd always just been blessed with a extremely high metabolism. I say I have the metabolism of a desert jackrabbit. So thank you to my mom's side of the family for that. But I'd always just been super lean, super skinny. And I actually went on a business trip in 2012 to Ocean City, Maryland. And I brought my wife and at the time my young son with me. He was about a year old at the time, maybe a little older. And I got done with work that day, and we went out on the beach for a walk as a family. And my wife snapped a picture of me, and I saw the picture. It was on one of those old flip phone cameras, but I saw the picture, And something within me just, I say it snapped, but I was just brought to this realization as I saw that picture of me standing there on the beach, no shirt on, holding my son's hand, that I was not living the life in terms of my health and fitness that I thought I should, especially now that I was a family man. I was a husband and a father, and I had other people depending on me to be around there. And so I saw that picture of me and I said, you know, not only do I not like the fact that I am skinny and have no muscle definition, you know, from an aesthetic standpoint, I wasn't pleased. But I just saw that picture and I said, man, I might look skinny, but I am not healthy and I don't feel healthy. Right. And we got home from that trip from Ocean City, Maryland, and I got in the gym pretty much the next day and started full bore, all out, going to the gym 6 days a week. And really over the course of, you know, since then, but truly over the course of probably 3 to 4 years, I packed on almost 30 pounds of muscle to my frame, but really it is about living an active, healthy lifestyle that is much more than just about the muscles.
Yeah, I love that you're saying this, and we're going to be going deeper into that very quickly here.
Yeah.
But what comes to my mind, like, is really like, how has your life changed from right now? As we record this, is 2018, so 6 years since 2012. Besides getting these 30 pounds of muscles, what else has changed in your life?
Well, I stopped kind of relying on genetics to quote unquote be healthy and you know, be thin. I really started paying attention to my diet in addition to going to the gym. For health reasons, beyond just wanting to eat healthy, I am gluten-free, I'm celiac, and that runs in my family. But I grew up in the Midwest here in the United States, and it is a lot of comfort food. It's a lot of casseroles. It's a lot of breads. It's a lot of fried food. It's a lot of heavily sauced food. And really, it was going against a lot of the culture in the Midwest here in the United States to start eating very simple meals that were lean meats, veggies, fruits, and you know, very whole grain carbs. You know, brown rice, cruciferous vegetables, things like that. So really, it was, and I'm the cook in our family, so I, you know, started slowly transitioning us towards eating a diet that was really serving as fuel for my body rather than for comfort for my body, or because of, you know, I heard it said the other day, so much of what we do and what we consume in our nutrition and our diet is really predicated on ease of access and taste. And it's hard to switch from that being your primary driver for food to one that you see food as fuel for your body. And that is really supplementing the activity that you're doing. You can still eat great tasting food, absolutely. And it doesn't have to be hard or involved to make it. But that was a huge shift too, is just nutritionally how I started changing how I ate and how I thought about food. And then, yeah, for me in the gym, obviously bodybuilding, weightlifting is my primary mode of choosing to be healthy and fit. But I get bored very easily. And so I do all different styles of workouts in the gym. I'll do HIIT workouts. I'll do circuit training. I'll do total body. I'll do body part splits. I'll get on the stair climber. But I love to get out of the gym too. And that is running Spartan races or mud runners or climbing a 14,000 foot mountain like I've done recently. It's all about total health and fitness and not just paying attention to how your body looks.
Yeah, absolutely, man. So you have this phrase on your website that says redefine the dad's bod. Like, yeah. So let's start there. What does that mean? How are you redefining the dad bod?
Well, the dad bod term came up a few years ago, and it was really made in a joke, in a joking way. There was this post by this student, I believe it was Clemson University, and she talked about how girls prefer guys with dad bods, and she kind of made light of, you know, they're squishier and softer to cuddle, and they want to go out and drink with you. And, you know, it was kind of an immature article, but that really brought about the term dad bod. And my whole thing is I'm really adverse to glorifying something that, quite honestly, Bruno, is killing us. Having that body type is more and more killing us as men, not just in the United States, but around the world. That signal, and the dad bod is typically defined by having that heavy beer gut, very underdeveloped legs and glutes, and just really out of proportion and out of shape. I hear a lot of guys talk about it as being healthy fat or skinny fat, and it is an indicator of so many different health problems, increased instances of diabetes, heart disease. You can't perform very much in terms of aerobic activity or anaerobic activity, certainly. And for the very practical reasons, it negates or disallows you from really participating in as much activity as you could with your children. And so for me, it's not something to joke about. The dad bod is an indicator of an unhealthy life. And not saying that you have to have six-pack abs or have ripped muscles to be a healthy dad, but you do need to pay attention to what you're eating, how you're exercising, how you're moving, and really be forward thinking in that 50 years down the line, I want to be there for my kids and my grandkids as much as they need me and as much as I can be. And so redefining the dad bod is really, I want men, dads, to hold themselves to a higher standard when it comes to their physical health. And outwardly, yes, that does mean losing the gut. It does mean, having some muscle and some tone to your body. It doesn't mean that you have to step on stage and be competition ready. That's unhealthy as well. But it really comes down to, are you able to physically perform in all the ways that a dad needs to?
Yeah, man. Oh, you touch on so many points. Important here. My whole thing, my whole brand is called Dad's on Fire. And Dad's on Fire says our mission is really simplified into one phrase: ending the Dad Bod Epidemic. Okay. And it's pretty similar to what you're saying. And it's not just about the muscle. It's not just about the physical appearance. Yes, this is what you're like externally thinking about because you're looking at your body and you're really not satisfied with the way you look. And of course, and that's good. That's awesome. Yeah. But it's way bigger than that. At least that's how I think. When I say ending the Dad Bod Epidemic, it's much bigger than just having a beer belly. And from what you just told me here, it feels like it is the same for you. So the question that I have for you related to that is, what is like the costs that this dad is paying for having this dad bod? I really, it's just a simplified way of saying about what this dad is going through. I just use this phrase dad bod, right? But there is much more than just the physical. So other things. So what are some of these costs that you see that you in your research or working with other dads? Can you share a little bit about this?
I think the primary thing, Bruno, is when you are a dad who is out of shape, who is not paying attention to what you're eating and how you're eating and how much you're eating, when you're not exercising in at least some way, shape, or form in a way that meets, something that you can sustain. When you are not paying attention to your health and fitness, I mentioned a couple things. You're more prone to diabetes. You're more prone to heart disease. You're more prone to liver disease. But beyond that, to me, you're leveraging your future with your family and your future health for present day satisfaction. And what I mean by that is that body type, dad bod, and being physically inactive and eating whatever you want, you are living for a very here in the moment selfish reason. I want to eat that food because it tastes good to me right now. I want to eat that much food because, what's it going to hurt me right now? I don't want to go to the gym because right now I feel like watching another episode of that TV show, or I feel like sitting on the couch playing, one more round of whatever video game that you've got going on right now. You are in the moment living selfishly and leveraging your future self. You are leveraging your health in the future. You're leveraging your time with your family in the future, your family that needs you and depends on you. For me, I want to be there for my family as long as I possibly can affect. And I know that I don't have control over every single circumstance that may come my way. A bus could hit me tomorrow. I don't have control over that. My health isn't going to have anything to do with that. But I can set myself up for a reduced risk of cancer in the future. I don't want to get diabetes. I don't want to have to go through heart reconstruction surgery or heart bypass surgery. I want to do everything that I can in my power to be there for my family that depends on me as long as I possibly can affect. And if that means doing hard work now and making different choices now that maybe aren't as selfishly satisfactory or satisfying, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that because I know when I'm 80, 85 and I can still move and get up off the floor without, assistance and play on the ground with my grandkids and run around in the backyard, I'm going to value that time way more than anything that I could eat or play right now, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So, Michael, why do you think, man? Okay, we have all this information in the world. We've never had access to podcasts, to YouTube, to articles, and people know about what we are mentioning here. People know that it is important to move. People know the importance of nutrition. Yet, right now, 70% or more of dads who I talk to, they are either overweight or obese, and this keeps growing. It's not going down. The statistics don't lie. It's every year, they come up with these new facts and about, okay, how much of the population right now is either overweight or obese and all of these things, right? And it keeps rising. What's the solution here, brother? Tell us.
Man, this is something that I've been talking a lot about. And to me, Bruno, it comes down to comfort. We have sought comfort over everything else as the thing to pursue. And what I mean by that is take a look at pictures of folks, of men 70, 80 years ago. You will be hard pressed to find an overweight man back then. Really, the only ones that you did see were typically pretty wealthy and had access to a lot of comfort. Most of the time, those men in that time, in that era, they did a lot of physical labor. They did a lot of work with their body. They were outside. They were moving constantly throughout the day. They didn't have video games. They didn't have a cell phone. They didn't have a computer to sit down. Their job was not revolved around what we're doing right now, which is sitting in front of a screen. They were out. They were using their hands. They were using their bodies to make things, to produce things. And over the last 60, 70, 80 years, as technology has more and more infiltrated every single aspect of our lives, man, we have allowed it to obviously do some great things. I love technology. This is not a slam on technology, but we have not adequately replaced the physical work that our bodies were meant to do and that we had previously done in any way, shape, or form. By sitting at a desk or by sitting in our car for 8, 9, 10 hours a day, and then coming home and sitting down on the couch and eating dinner while we're sitting there, and then going to bed and maybe not getting the greatest sleep because we can't breathe right, we are just compounding these issues when we don't seek out hard work, when we don't seek out something that gets us out of being comfortable. To me, it boils down to that, man. We have sought comfort over everything else. We keep hearing this message of get yours, live the life, be comfortable, seek these things out. And there's not enough people out there saying, do the hard work. Put yourself in situations where you physically exert yourself, where you physically challenge yourself, where you go through a hard situation physically, not just mentally, but physically, to do what your body was always and forever intended and meant to do, which is move and be strong and be powerful. As men, that is what our bodies were created to do.
Yeah. Awesome, man. So I hope that for the dads who are listening or watching this right now, you got the importance of of what we're saying here. This is not just about your physical appearance, my friends. This is about your life, the future of your family, your future, and most importantly, to be honest with you, it's about the present. It's about how you are feeling on a day-to-day basis. Because really, like Michael said, we don't know if we can die at any moment. Something can happen. But feeling like crap every day in the present right now, as you listen this is not going to change like that, right? You're going to be feeling if you don't do anything about it. So that's what we are here for. Michael, let's go over this, man. If the dad right now is sick of feeling this way, what is the first thing that you have to say that this dad has to know?
Well, the first thing I would say is I often caution my clients who I train, don't do what I did and immediately jump into going to the gym 6 days a week for an hour and getting up early. I mean, it's just, I went a little bit crazy, and that's not sustainable for everyone. And if you don't think that's sustainable for you, don't do that. It worked for me. What I would say is just start moving. Do something. Whether that is getting up from your desk every hour to take a walk around your building outside, if you're at work, or if you work from home, going on a walk around the block, setting your alarm for 5 minutes earlier each day and committing to just getting up and moving your body. Maybe it is 15 push-ups and 15 sit-ups and 15 body weight squats. Just something to begin acclimating your body to movement again. And then as that becomes sustainable, start talking about and looking at what you're eating. Don't immediately cut all your calories and start trying to force feed yourself a 1,200 calorie diet. Add water to your diet. Eat more vegetables each day. And then you can slowly start to manipulate some other things in your nutrition and your diet. But those are the two things that I tell every single one of my clients.
Mm-hmm. Cool.
Add movement, add healthy stuff to your diet before we start taking away.
Cool. Awesome. So you mentioned two of the pillars that we have, of course, for living a healthy life, which is the movement part, the exercise, and also the nutrition, what we are putting in our bodies. No doubt about that. So let's go a little bit deeper into these two topics. Let's start with fitness here. So I'm a busy dad, brother. I don't have a lot of time. I have, I have my career, I have all this crazy stuff going on, and I have my kids and have my wife, and I have my friends, and I want to do everything, man. I don't have time to exercise. What should I do, man? Besides, okay, you mentioned about taking a little time, just start slowly, right? I think that's probably the best advice, to start with very short amount of time devoted to something that you haven't been doing at all, like without going too crazy like you did 6 times a week and all of that stuff. And I truly agree with this process. That's what we do as well. What else about exercise do you think it is important for this dad who is very busy, who doesn't have a lot of time on his hands, to start like a plan related to fitness?
Well, I'm going to give you a really solid tactical piece of advice here in just a bit, but I do want to mention one thing you talked about there. I do not accept the I don't have time excuse. Like, listen, guys, I get up at 4:30 in the morning. I go to the gym. I go into work and do my full-time job all day, every day of the week. I come home. I cook dinner in our house. I still have time to read books to my kids, or go on a walk with my family, or take them to the park. And then my wife and I have our time after the kids go to bed to do whatever we want to do, whether it's watch a TV or a TV show or put together a puzzle. Like, there is time in your day. I do not accept that time excuse. And I have my side hustle too. I have my clients. I have, Fit Dad Fitness. I've got everything that goes along with that. I'm a busy dude, and I still can get it in. So no, I don't accept the time excuse. Tactically, let's talk about that. A lot of guys think that they have to get in the gym and bust their, backside for an hour and a half every single day to see results. And that's simply not true. You can get great results and you can get to a great workout in 30 minutes 3 times a week. And my number one recommendation to guys who may be hard pressed for time or use that excuse that they can't find time is go 3 days a week, 30 minutes, and do resistance training. Don't step on a single piece of cardio equipment. Put some weights in your hand. You can do a great workout with some dumbbells and your body. So do total body. Don't focus on, well, today's arm day or today's chest day or today's leg day. 3 days a week, total body, 30 minutes. You can get in, you can get out, and you can you can start having great results off that, just in that alone. And, the other days of the week, pay attention to how much you are moving throughout the day. It's called NEAT, non-exercise activity threshold, I believe. I can't remember what the acronym stands for, but it's simply, what are you doing? How are you moving throughout the rest of the day? Get a tracker. Are you getting 10,000 steps in a day? Aim for that. Set a goal. Be very specific and tactical and set your goals on those things. But yeah, man, resistance training for me is always going to be where I start with guys, and it doesn't have to be that you're killing yourself in the gym all day, every day.
Yeah, awesome. I love that. So you mentioned, and I love that you're saying this about the time, because that's exactly how I feel as well. We can make time for anything that we really want. Okay, so but
yeah,
putting myself on this guy right now and on his own like skin. Okay, sometimes I think is because they don't know, they haven't yet experienced this, or it has been such a long time that they completely forgot how amazing and how much energy can they actually have, that they think, oh, I just don't have the time. No, it's not even the time. It's just because you're feeling such at low level, you're feeling like crap. That of course you don't have the time, because you don't feel like having the time. You just feel tired. It's normal. It's not even your fault, my friend. That's really what I want to say. It's not your fault that you're feeling this way, right? Like that you're feeling like you don't have the time. It's just because you're feeling like crap. That's
and that goes back to my little rant about comfort, guys. I mean, have some mental fortitude to get out of your comfort zone. Yes, you feel like crap, and it will feel uncomfortable for a little bit to get up a little bit earlier, or to go in the gym and start working out and moving weights after you haven't done it maybe ever. Yes, it's going to be uncomfortable, and yes, you're not going to feel like doing it. But guys, let's have some strength. Let's have some mental fortitude. Let's have some power. Let's put ourselves in uncomfortable positions with a greater end goal, to know that we're working towards something bigger. Like, I get it. I get it. There are days where you don't feel like you have energy, but as the cliche goes, and I hate cliches, nobody ever regretted a workout once it was done.
Yeah. Awesome. So I have this thing, I developed this system, right? And inside of the system we have, so it's called DOF system. Dad's on Fire system, but it also stands for direction, the D, letter D. The O stands for outlook, and the F for field. So inside of direction, that's where we learn things related to nutrition, to exercise, to stress management, to sleep. And specifically talking about fitness, we have this, it's called the trifecta of exercise for busy dads. So the bottom of the pyramid is called move your ass. It's called the move your ass principle, or just slow paced movements, which is just about being a human being, not being, sitting down all the time, standing up, walking around, really like just moving your ass, like I like to say. Then the middle of this pyramid, I call lifts, which is resistance training that can be done with your own body. If you don't want to go to the gym, you can do definitely at the gym. Nature, even, you can just be creative, and we give a bunch of options. And then we have the top of this pyramid, which I call really the secret sauce, because I see less than, I don't know, 5% of dads doing this properly. It's called HIIT, high intensity interval training, on a way that actually fits their schedule and fits the proper HIIT, because I see people, oh, I'm doing HIITs. No, that's not really HIIT. Anyway, so we have this trifecta of exercise that really devotes less than 2 hours a week to specifically for like fitness. When you, okay, I'm going to be doing my fitness, less than 2 hours a week. How much do you think, like from your own experience working with dads, or from your own life, how much time do you think we can get good results and for devoting for exercise and fitness?
Yeah, I think you're pretty spot on. I mean, 2 hours a week makes up, gosh, I can't even do the math, but it's a super minuscule percentage of your entire week. I mentioned earlier, 3 times a week, 30 minutes, that's an hour and a half. It's more about what are you doing with your in-between times? Are you, on your off days, if you're not going into the gym, are you sitting around all day and at work, in the car, and then come home and then sit again out on the couch? Or are you doing things that maybe it's not a quote unquote workout, but you're taking your kids for a walk around the block, or you're taking them to the park, and you're not just sitting there, but you're actually being active with them. You're standing, you're walking, around the park with them. It really is about all of your movement and thinking about the entirety of your day and how you move and when you move and why you move, rather than just the very specific narrow hour and a half, 2 hours or more window of time where you're in the gym and saying, this is my exercise time. I think you're right on. I mean, like I said, you can get in 3 30-minute workouts, 4 30-minute workouts to meet 2 hours a week, and you can have incredible results that way. I absolutely and totally 100% believe that. But it doesn't stop there, right? And it's not necessarily always about your exercise time in the gym.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Man, we could talk about this topic. It's really a passion of mine for hours and hours, just about really, like, guys, you don't need to have all this time. You really don't. It's like to be healthy, to get to the body of your dreams, and to avoid a lot of the chronic diseases that we're talking about. We're talking about being healthy. We are not talking specifically about having a body to go on a competition. Maybe you're going to be needing a little more time for that. But if your goal is to have a healthy life for yourself and for your family, dude, you really don't need a lot of time devoted to exercise. And yes, you need to be moving your body, and that's not gonna really count necessarily as exercise. Anyway, man, let's move on from fitness, because otherwise we keep talking for the whole show here. I want to get your take about nutrition here. What's your basic philosophy related to nutrition?
It's pretty simple. It's eat real food. That's really what it comes down to.
What is real food?
Real food is food that is as close to its natural state as possible. And so what I mean by that is nothing
like
that
cane
comes
sugar?
out of, we'll get to sugar in just a bit. Processed stuff, a lot of processed meats, stuff that comes in a box or a tube, stuff that is just heavily packaged. Maybe it comes out of the freezer section in a box. Stay away from those things, quite simply. And that's why I advocate and encourage dads, especially, to learn how to cook. Look, guys, if we can follow a instruction manual on how to put together a set of dresser drawers for our kids, we can follow a recipe in the kitchen. It's not any different. And so know what's going in your food and use real ingredients, lean meats, vegetables, fruits, and whole carbs. I mentioned brown rice or potatoes, like a sweet potato, things that are in as close to their natural biological state as possible. And yes, you're obviously making a recipe and combining those ingredients together, but it is all at its basic form real food. Learn how to cook, eat real food. That's really what it comes down to, guys. And if you want to lose weight, honestly, it's about calories in, calories out. Every single diet plan that you go on, no matter what it is, all comes down to the core tenet of, to lose weight, you've got to burn more calories than you're consuming. And so, you don't have to overcomplicate diet and nutrition. It does not have to be that hard.
Mm-hmm. And so, Michael, why do you think there is so many conflicting ideas out there about, nutrition is almost like religion, right? And we have also two questions at the same time. Why do you think there is so many conflicting ideas, and why there is so many like fad diets? There is, the keto diets nowadays. That's all I see on Facebook being spread out through my news feeds. The keto, and then we had the paleo, then we have the low carb, the vegetarian, the veganism. There is all these names, these tags for diets. Why is that, man?
Well, for me, and in my opinion, what I see is, again, it comes back to people looking for comfort or the quick fix. They want to say, oh, this diet plan got results for this person, and and this person, who they're listening to takes it to the extreme. If it worked for me, it has to work for everyone, because I got these amazing results. Everyone's going to get these amazing results, and people latch onto that. People want they want to be told really what to do. They want a plan to follow, and as a marketer myself, it's easy for us to get pulled into some marketing speak and some marketing language there. It's a lot of hype, and I think people too often buy into the hype. There's not enough people who will sit down and do the research themselves to figure out, is this diet or this type of eating style scientifically proven, backed up? Go to examine.com, for instance. That's one of my favorite websites on anything nutrition and supplementation and diet related. But to me, it's just people seeking a quick fix, people seeking comfort, people seeking the answer that's going to get them there. And there's also a little bit of, I want to join a community. I want to join a community of people who are following this particular workout style or this particular diet plan. It's why CrossFit has exploded and been so popular. They've done a great job of creating a community that people want to be a part of. And I have, my own feelings about the CrossFit world in and of itself. But fad diets, people going overboard with a particular diet, it really comes down to, you got to do the work yourself to look at these things. And what may work for one person or be sustainable for one person, largely is not sustainable for the greater whole.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, totally agree, man. We want the easy recipe, right? We don't want to really figure it out our own diet, and that's exactly the way we work. We don't follow a specific diet, and I follow this SU diet. I call the SU diet, screw yourself diet. So forget about that. We create your own diets, like Michael's diet. Okay, we go through this system of testing and going through specific protocols, and at the end of the program, then you're going to be having your own diet. But I cannot say what it is, because, like, for example, for you, gluten is a big no. So I cannot ever say, hey, Michael, you should have wheat, because wheat is working for me. I eat all of this pizza in the evening. I follow this protocol where I cannot have anything in the morning. I just fast, and then in the evening I go crazy every day, and I'm burning fat. Man, you should do the same thing. And if I tell Michael to do this, what do you think is going to happen to Michael? Right? and that's what I think we need to see more. That's what dads need to understand. Hey, you're going to be creating your own lifestyle. First of all, you're going to be creating your own physical activity plan. You're going to be creating your own diets based on your own lifestyle and based on your own genetics. Everybody is different. I cannot say, like, hey, just eat that, follow this recipe here. Yes, we start with a template, like Michael is saying, real food. That's a good start, and then we build up from there. So, Michael, one of the last questions that I have, brother, is, so we have been really focusing on diet and fitness. Is diet and exercise enough?
Well, I think diet and exercise in particular, brings about a lot of other changes. And I did mention it earlier, like, to get into that particular type of lifestyle, you've got to put yourself out of your comfort zone, for sure. But the great thing about eating healthier and exercising is you start to feel better, and then you start to have more energy, and then you start to want to do it a little bit more, and then you start to really make it be about, this is your lifestyle and not a particular plan or set program that you're following. It's more about just who you are as a person. And so getting up a little bit earlier to go to the gym 4 days a week instead of just 3, spending 45 minutes at the gym instead of an hour, or instead of a half hour, saying no to those chicken nuggets and instead eating a grilled chicken salad sounds better because you've got bigger goals. And to me, that all flows into the outcome of this. Is the gym, fitness, nutrition is a kind of a microcosm of our lives and society as a greater whole. If you can go into the gym and into the kitchen and put in the hard work and put in the effort and really produce successful outcomes for yourself there, that carries over into every other aspect of your life, into your job. You will be more confident. When you go in to ask for that raise, I always like to say, because you raised the barbell for a PR last week, it's easier to go into your boss's office and ask for a raise at work. Like, just the carryover there up here in between your ears is absolutely where the real long-term end goal payoff happens for a lot of guys, a lot of dads who see so much value in where they work and their job and their profession. It carries over into your relationships with your kids, with your wife, with your friends. You have more time, you have more energy, you have more just aura about you. You attract more people when you are a more confident, more energetic person. There's just so many different areas. So no, it does not end with just health and fitness. If it did, their goal would be to step on a competition stage and look as lean and shredded and muscular as possible. If that was where it ended, because that would be the end goal for everyone. If fitness was all about just being fit and eating super, super healthy. Look, I don't eat 100% healthy all the time. I love burgers. I love pizza. I love Chipotle, like all that stuff. But at the end of the day, like it is about the holistic macro lifestyle that you're living that carries over into everything else. And that's really what it's all about. That's why I started Fit Dad Fitness. I wanted to use fitness and health and nutrition as a way for fathers to lead and live more active, involved, healthy lives with their children. That often does not mean you're going to take your 7-8-year-old son into the gym. Quite the contrary. It means everything else that you do with them in their lives. How does health and fitness become the foundation for what you do and how you involve yourself with your kids?
Yeah, awesome. And so before we share about where can people get in touch with you and find more about the work that you're doing, the last question that I have for you here today is, if you can just say like one lasting thoughts, one thing for these dads who is struggling right now, who is feeling, he's maybe even feeling depressed, lacking the energy, self-esteem. What would you say to this dad right now?
Grow your own tomatoes. And let me explain. I'll be quick with this. This is a backstory. So when I was a young boy, my grandfather on my mom's side, my mom's dad, grew a garden. And I would often go out into his garden with him and look at all the plants and vegetables that he grew. And one time I was out there when I was about 8-9 years old, and we were walking past the tomato plants, and he turned to me and he said, "Michael, a tomato given to you will never taste as good as one that you grow yourself." And at the time I hated tomatoes. And so I said, "Grandpa, I think they're all gross." And we just laughed and we had a little chuckle about it. And he left it at that. That was all that he said about it. And we went inside and had lunch and forgot about it. When I was driving to his funeral just a few years ago, that moment came back to me. And what he said, "A tomato given to you will never taste as good as one that you grow yourself." And my grandfather was not trying to teach me about gardening. He was not trying to teach me about how to grow a tomato. He was telling me about the value of hard work, how doing something for yourself, putting in the hard work, making the commitment, going through the effort and the time to do something that may be uncomfortable and that may be hard will always produce better results for you, will always feel better, will always taste better to you than having it handed to you, than somebody giving you a shortcut or an easier way to do something. This phrase of working smarter, not harder, I don't believe in that. There is absolute value in hard work. And so I live my life, and my motto is kind of grow your own tomatoes. A tomato given to you will never taste as good as one that you grow yourself. There are so many parallels to that in life, in fitness. Do the thing that is hard for yourself so that you can reap the taste at the end.
Yeah. Wow. I'm going to leave everybody with that. That was an awesome quote here of Michael. Thank you so much, brother. So where can people find more about you, what you're doing right now? How can people get in touch with you, man?
Yeah, it all starts on my website, fitdadfitness.com. You can catch me on Instagram and Twitter at FitDadFitness. I'm on Facebook at FitDadFitness page. And then check out the Fit Dad Fitness podcast. It's pretty much wherever you can find podcasts. So iTunes, Spotify, SoundCloud, all those good stuff. There's an episode that launches every Wednesday and Friday. So
cool. Awesome. And well, thank you so much for your time today, brother. Appreciate it. This conversation was awesome. I could go for hours and hours here, but I want to be respectful of your time. Guys, go check it out. Michael's stuff, the podcast, his website. Say hi to him on Instagram, all of that good stuff. And until then, make sure to take action so that you can become a Dads on Fire. I will see you on the next episode. Have a good day, everybody. Peace.